subscribe only. Big up you lot, man. I hope everyone's having a great Monday away from football as well, you know. What on earth am I reading? Noni has done his ACL, huh? Where are you seeing that? I need to see 2 points drop for us. Only team I can go into a game thinking it's going to be tough is Liverpool. 2 points drop, point game, because we obviously were chasing. I know the logic, and I will say this, and I'm not here to defend anyone. Again, I like equality. I know if we set up like City in that second half and did all that defending to concede, I know what would have been said. But bro, you're not like Arteta, you're shook, bro. Like you're shook. As simple as that, you're shook. Because again, I'm a hypocrite. Had you have gone for it and we lost, cool, it is what it is. But I said this against Liverpool. Had you have done what we needed you to do, yeah, and it didn't work at Anfield or it didn't work at the Etihad, obviously, you know, we would have lost again. Well, we did lose against Liverpool. You get the point. With a loss, question marks, etc. But one tonic that I could have had is, okay, cool. It might not have worked against Liverpool. It might not have worked against City. It might work 3 or 4 times across the season. So yeah, man, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I don't think he's wrong. 33 touches in the up box at 1-0 down, and they had 5. And again, Arteta, look, why are you still scarred, bro? I understand it. Don't be dead defensively. You know what? Rob Holding, Kivior, Saliba's injuries harmed him more than I thought. Brother, we're not there anymore. Go to therapy, bro. Play some wavy football. Just please, bro. Just keep doing what you're doing. I can't lie. 90% of what you're doing, Arteta, keep doing it. Like obviously 100%, take away 10, 90%. That 10% is what I need. That 10% is what I need. Football is logical, but it's also illogical. And we don't have that. And I'm sorry, but purely the attacking sense, another manager gets a bit more out of them. You don't have to think these players are amazing. I know Arsenal fans don't. Trossard, Gyökeres, Saka, Madueke, all them attackers, I guarantee you placed them at several other clubs. You're looking at them differently. You're clipping their wings, bro. And at the same time, the players are only doing what you're telling them to do, man. So yeah, you can, you know, we know you're a good tactician, but at the end of the day, we want to cross the bridge. You've got nothing to show for having City in their own half, you know, record-breaking negative defensive statistics for Pep, which is great. It shows we're competitive. It shows you know, you can do the overthinking thing. We're accustomed to that. But you needed the 3 points. That's where we're at now. Points. Results. Winners win, losers explain, and nobody lost, but boy. Martinelli probably deserved to play and didn't. Instead of moaning, he comes on with an unbelievable energy to help the team to get a point. Eze the same. True, but like I used to say with Emery, and obviously the case study isn't as big, but bro, if you're always having to change things or you need the guys off the bench to nick the game, are we setting up in the right potential way? Are we going about our business in the right way? I don't know. Ian Wright said, in my eyes, I'm starting Martinelli and Eze against Newcastle. So am I, man. Like, I understand Newcastle, their midfield, whatever, but bro, attack now, man. Because you can always bring on these defenders, these defensive duns. I still remember Newcastle last year. The Merino thing in midfield didn't work. Eze in the 10, Martinelli out wide. I understand, to be fair, if you keep Martinelli on the bench as a wild card. But for me, Eze in the 10, Martinelli out wide, Saka on the right-hand side, Gyökeres through the middle, Zubi and Rice. Defense picks itself. You know, you could even bring in Mascara again. Go for it now, man. Like, you need to show me something. I'm starting Martinelli and Eze. Martinelli can get the crowd going. Eze can make those passes like we saw him do. Right, you put a player centrally, who's a central player, and they start creating. I never knew that, man. We need to start that quickly. We're looking at a City side who came to defend. When have you ever seen that? We've never seen that before. Exactly. So we've never seen that. We lost at Anfield, but we competed. Liverpool City are defending. We're in a new realm, and we're not taking advantage of this. So far, for Gyökeres to have a good game, he has to do flick-ons and knockdowns and the donkey work. That's considered a striker playing well. I think I think there's a lot of disingenuousness about Gyökeres. Is he cumbersome and whatnot? Yeah, but I said this in the summer. It didn't matter if Isak would have been the best, because I genuinely, if Isak was playing for Arsenal, I'd be saying the same things, or even Ikitike. Obviously, Isak, Hugo, they're a bit more technical. They probably would have made something happen for themselves. Like you see Gyökeres against Leeds, they probably would have had a couple more goals on that ilk. But that's not sustainable for 38 games. It's not sustainable. It's really not. When I've seen you score one tapping, I've not seen chances. And I think it's because you don't want to, Arteta. Ian Wright on Martinelli said, on calling him a finisher rather than a sub, it sounds different to a substitute, but you're still a sub, true. The fact is, you've got to come on and you've got to try and save the game. You want to start the game and prove you can do that when you're starting. Is he going to get typecast now? What's typecast mean, people? because he's done it in the Champions League. He's done it in another big game against a big team. At some stage, you think, when do I get my chance to be a star? You've had your chances, bro. I think his performances with him coming off the bench and doing what he's doing only highlight the fact I want more. I'm going to prove I can do more. And when I get the opportunity, I've got to be more consistent so people don't think I'm an impact player. Facts, got to prove people wrong in that regard. I don't quite agree with this because I think Pep did something differently. But what do you lot make of Adebayo's comments here, people? Pep Guardiola, in his first year at Barcelona, I don't necessarily agree with this. He had Deco, Eto'o, and Ronaldinho. He didn't know who to play. I think Arteta is in that situation now. He'll have a player who will be knocking on his door every week saying, I want to play. That's where he must make a call. I mean, Arteta's shown he don't really care about them decisions there. He must manage all these players. It's not easy when you have players who want to play week in, week out. Some are from Brazil, some are from England. They're internationals who want to play for their countries. To play for your country, you must start for your club. We'll see how Arteta manages the situation because it can be problematic for the player, which is great. But this is what happens with one having a big squad. And again, is that any unique from Onslaught? There's probably people crying, especially them front three. They're going to be crying on this. They're going to be crying about not playing. Chelsea, a bunch of players crying about not playing. United, a bunch of players be crying about not playing. Even Tottenham Hotspur, a bunch of players not playing. Slightly, Villa been crap, but Villa. That's it, bro. Every manager's got that. Every manager's got that. Every manager's got that. I do agree with the looser point in that Arteta's gone from kind of the team and the 11 picking itself to you got more options that you can count. And it's not about keeping anyone happy. He wants to play Marino up front. In the 10. This is what you want to do. It'll be interesting to see when Kai Havertz is fit what we're doing. Because it's down to you now. Big up Martinelli for his man of the match, man. You are impact sub, my son. I never sold my stocks. Pep Guardiola said, you have to give Arsenal a lot of credit. I have to prove myself again with a different strategy. So now I have a transitional team. I said I don't give a fuck about the results, bro. I want to see the spirit back in the training sessions and us enjoying. After that is tactics. We lost it last season and we had to recover. This week we have recovered. We have to continue. And from where we will learn the process, the tactics, our way, we will feel more comfortable to win games and be proud of ourselves. Don't care if City parked the bus. It was on us to win the game. We are better than City. And again, City are not one of the best defenses. They parked the bus for 45 plus minutes. And I know it's not as white and black as this. Had you have started on the front foot more, based on what we've seen of this Manchester City team across this season so far and defensively last season, would they even us that can't break down low blocks? Bearing in mind, they weren't exactly a low block side. They were a bit more switched on. They did that in the second half. Could they have done that for 90 minutes? Maybe. I guess we'll never know. You just never know. But all we can do is deal with what's happened. Haaland's opener for Arsenal. Sorry, I wish he played for Arsenal. For Man City is just the third goal Arsenal conceded from a fast break in the Premier League in 2025, after Bowen for West Ham in February and then Buemo for Brentford in January. So we're not accustomed to that, but it did come at the wrong time and it was silly. Lightning strikes twice. Look at my son, man. Look at my son, man. Look at my son. Eze, for all the stats dons that love talking about X this and X that and expected this, Eze generated more expected assists than any other player during Arsenal versus City. He only came on at halftime. So it does show you can be proactive, Gaffer, but you're choosing. I don't even think you're not setting up to win. You're just going about it the wrong way. You're too focused on what them man are doing. He's become the first manager to ever go 5 league games unbeaten against Pep, which I like all these statistics. It reflects that you're a good manager. All them statistics reflect we're a good team. But I know all of this. Get over the line. That's all I would say. And big up Gabriel Magalhaes, all of us. We cannot make analysis without talking about what happened this week. We played tough games against United and Napoli. Hats off to the team and the resilience. When you're not effective in the pressing, always it is difficult. I think the result is fair. We made some transitions, but I think Arsenal was better. It's a better result than last season, better against Man United and better against Man United last week. So we'll take that. They were better. We were tired. We played an emotional game against Napoli and we had 4 or 5 hours to arrive to London. I mean, boy, when it was us City away, no one said that. I don't know. Don't care. There's a wider discussion to say about the whole of football and all of these games being played for these players. Everyone's got the same dynamics. Us, Liverpool, City, Chelsea, anyone who's competing in 4 trophies, dead. That's why you got a squad. But he is right. And that's actually something that pees me off. We played on Tuesday. They played on Thursday. We should have hit them we should have just been a bit more front-footed. Arteta, I bet you of all people should know what Pep's on, but bro, it's getting frustrated saying the same things week in, week out. It was so tough, but we were there in brackets Emirates Stadium. We had to be so strong in terms of mentality. We've done it. We have a lot of fatigue. How many injuries? Yeah, and he's gone on to talk about injuries. Don't care about that because no one cared when it was us. Arsenal, a team that fought for the last two Premier League titles to win it. They arrived in the semi-finals and the champs. It's not just City that invest money, so they did it as well. So tough we were there. Yeah, but what team? People will get at Liverpool. What team spent 200 million in January? And I don't even care about that. We spent money. Cool, is where it is. Pep also said sometimes you have to defend because the opponent's better. He's probably gassing up his brethren. Arteta there. So, and the thing for me is this again. This just shows me the good, the bad, and the ugly about the gaffer. In that you can stifle a team, but then in terms of getting over the line, whether it's in 90 minutes or yesterday or getting over the line in trophies, you're a good coach. Are you a winning coach? And every year you don't, it's gonna get bigger and bigger. City had 34% possession against Arsenal today, their lowest under Pep Guardiola in the Premier League, and they didn't lose. And yeah, I just saw them bunch of statistics there, people. He said, I suffered. I want the ball to be closer to Raya, not Gigi. We were so close. We're resilient. I would prefer to play in a certain way. But in 10 years, we play against a lot of teams who defend deep, deep, deep. Sometimes you play against a team who are better in that way, and you have to survive in that way. You have to accept it. And we did it. And I do think your tactics were proactive. You just couldn't keep us quiet. What did you not make of Michael Richards' comments here? Everyone was surprised. We were thinking, but if you actually look in the game, Eze against Athletic Club, basically his defensive work wasn't right at times. I hear that, but at the same time, come on, fam. Come on, bro. Come on. Is Eze a professional footballer because of what he could do defensively? Seriously. And I of all people understand everyone's got to press, everyone's got to do that. But come on. Trust me, expected this is crazy, innit? Nelly, good bench options. DG, can you explain how Haaland playing for a team with 33% have two big chances on one goal, and Yoker is playing for a team with 67% got zero shots? This is an Arteta problem. Possession is 9 attempts of the law, but it's what you do. It's what you do. And Haaland was actually involved in our little mistake for the goal. Shout out, Nelly. Havertz can play with Yoker as up front as a striker. Exactly. If our defense is so good, trust them to defend. We all no, don't say all of us, Jerome. Don't say all of us. We all sold our stock in Nelly because he's playing as a left winger, which he isn't. He's a striker. He runs in behind and scores a low touch player. Right. Where are you lot seeing this Madueke? Where are you lot seeing this Madueke stuff? Where are you lot seeing this Madueke stuff? Have the credible journalists said anything? And if he's got ACL, flipping now. But yeah, what do you make of that, people? What has Pep said? Before we get into Arteta's comments, we cannot make analysis without talking about what happened this week. We played tough games against United and Napoli. Hats off. When you are not effective in pressing, always it's difficult. I think the result is fair. We made some. Oh, sorry, we read this already. We try not to be like this, but when the opponent is better, we have Erling who can run with such power. We have this. Remember how many counter-attacks we scored with Sane, Sterling, De Bruyne? I'd prefer not to do it, but I'd expect it in this level. We have to do it now. So, yeah, you don't think your players can do what you used to do. Arteta said, I'm very proud of the team. We dominated them, and I'm very disappointed with the result. You did dominate the second half. I am proud of the boys for getting something out of the game because drawing is better than losing. But I'm frustrated because you didn't put your best foot forward. And I know I'm going to see this again. And we keep saying the same things. That's my frustration. Nelly has never lost a match across all comps in which he scored for Arsenal. In 47 games, 38 wins, 9 draws, 0 losses. I don't want to sound bad, man. Big up Martinelli. But clearly, you don't score enough. Because I'm sure Saka has scored for Arsenal when we've lost. Salah has scored for Liverpool when they lost. Isak has scored for Newcastle when they lost. Haaland has scored for City and they've lost. Like last season. So that means not enough. Calafiori had more touches in the opposition box than any other player against City, which I get it because they're going to mark our attack out the game. They're going to be good. You need him to be a bit of a unicorn, but come on. You just spent the big P's on. And to be fair, I'd love to see the list, actually. I don't know in terms of, I'd love to see a list. Madueke must be up there. I don't think Gyökeres is. Good finish from him. You know what? Donnarumma had a good game. I don't know what he was doing, but I'm here for this. I'm here for this. What a good goal that was. First goal of the season for Nelly. Oh, Martinelli. And hey, you know what? I thought Saka looked a bit sharper. And we haven't spoken about that. Saka's back, which is great stuff. Mikel Arteta, please don't annoy me. He's spoken about Gyökeres. Well, there were a lot of very good balls into the box, especially I remember 3 of them that he was very, very close to doing against City. And I kind of cut all strikers. I said it for Chris Wood with Nottingham Forest. I felt the same with the Liverpool game. You're going to be marked out the game. Us against United, Liverpool, City. But I do think you need to create some more chances because you're not creating a damn thing. Playing for this football club up front used to be a striker's dream. Well, there were a lot of very good balls into the box, especially I remember 3 of them that he was very, very close to doing against City. To have very big open chances is extremely difficult, but he's certainly trying his best and trying to do that. And we have to provide more for him. That's it. Yeah, he's doing what he can. You need to provide more for him. Let it be we're creating some chances and he's missing. Then I can get at him. You know he's got limitations, bro. Hide the limitations, enhance the strengths, and that goes for every player. There are a lot of situations where the chances were there, and then the final pass was missing today. In many moments, it was very, very open. And one thing that was annoying me, actually, I would say on Gyökeres, a couple of times we were breaking against City, but Gyökeres is involved in the build-up play. I want you on the end of it. Marino even as well. I want you on the end of it because you're probably one of the best players we've got in the box. It's crazy being an Arsenal fan. Martinelli's been directly involved in 4 Premier League goals against Pep Guardiola City. 2 goals, 2 assists. Big game player, bro. They wanted you sold, not me, though. Not you, not me. I agree, but I disagree with this because I think people try to do the toxic positive thing a bit too much. Yes, we know the season's not done. Yes, we know it's all to play for. Yes, we know all of these things. But I think it's disingenuous. If you're sitting here on the 21st of September saying the league's lost, I don't think it's lost, but doesn't look like it could be won by us. Lost, blah, blah, blah. Not sure you're cut out for what lies ahead for a reason. Give yourself a smack. That aside, Mikel sometimes needs to take his inner handbrake off. Sometimes. And what a boy it was from Eze. Even the run from Nelly. Yoker has no clue why you're sad, but don't know, my guy. Even Saka pulling out to the left on occasions. Let's see what the gaffer has had to say, people. And just before we actually see what he said, we dominated almost every aspect. You did. But you didn't dominate the one aspect that we need to cross over the border now into. Scoring more goals, winning the game, getting the 3 points. We've been there many a time against City, against PSG, against Liverpool, against, even Bayern Munich a few years ago. The best of the best. We've not, whether we've won, lost, or drawn, we've competed. We've been in it in terms of statistics. Over the line business. We're going to keep saying the same things. If nothing changes, nothing changes. To be honest, that pass Eze did yesterday, I don't think Odegaard does take that risk. I think he does, but right now it needs to be Eze needs to be given the keys, bro. You got Odegaard who's out of sorts, yes, injured, but out of sorts. Wanyeri want to see him blooded, but he's young. Slap Eze there. Or if Eze's not playing in there, you damn well got to play him off the left then. And even if he's on the left, feed him. Feed all these attackers. Nothing I'm spoken about this live stream or 5-6 games into the season, 5 Premier League games, 6 in all comps, and we will be doing a watch along for Port Vale. I didn't learn any of this year. Fair enough. Yeah, there's a couple new players into the team. But I said, and some of you said it, I said it doesn't matter who you get up front. We're not creating enough chances. It weren't as white and black as insert a striker. We're happy as Larry. The bewildering decisions from the man, everything we've seen, the good, bad, and the ugly. We knew this. We knew it last year. None of this is new. Unfortunately, old habits die hard, and Arteta's going to need to kill them. I must say, I'm very, very proud of the players and the team. I think the way we played, the way we dominated almost every aspect of the game, apart from the scoreline, it was outstanding. The scoreline is the only thing that matters. And I'm probably the most balanced on YouTube. I'm more than happy to talk about the performance and the nuances and that. But we can't say only the scoreline. Because I think some fans love to peddle that. And if you lot want to keep doing this, what could have been against this and what could have been and we competed and ideal scenario syndrome, you lot are great then. You lot are happy. But I know I'll tell you, you're going about it mad. I know you want to get over the line. Players, I know you damn well want to get over the line. Fans, I know you want to get over the line. You cannot stand in the rain and complain you're wet, bro. That's the scenario the gaffer's unfortunately put himself in, for me anyways. Apart from the scoreline, it was outstanding. I know that as a coach and people like me know how difficult it is to do that against City. And what I would say is we are very disappointed with the result. I hear that. He then said it's unbelievable. Gabby had some great moments and minutes in Bilbao, and today he didn't start, but he got the same energy, the same commitment, the same drive to produce another great moment. Ebbs as well. I'm sure he was disappointed not to start the game, but I knew it was going to be a long match, and there were going to be moments where the game had to be shifted in different ways, and this certainly had a massive impact. We needed them. With Noni as well, he picked up an injury. Bakayo was ready, and he had some very good moments as well throughout the game. And missing some important players like Gabby, like Kai as well. Some of the players that are still not available, like Martin as well. We need all the players. And he also said that Hincapie is injured, which I hope he's not, or I hope he gets over it, because I do want to see Mascara, Hincapie, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Benjamin White, Kepa, Run Arteta. These are the games for Marino. Or you could play, you know what? You could actually play Lewis-Skelly in midfield, but you get where I'm going on Wednesday, but we'll deal with that then. They should be disappointed. Gabby's finish was unbelievable. Rice, I love you. I think you're mustard. I think you were shit in the first half. I think you need to stop this kumbaya, everybody's friends thing. And that's about it. When you come off the bench at that point of the game, 60, 70, 80 minutes, the game's a completely different game to start the game. True. The game's opened up. It's more stretched. And for players like Gabby, they're unbelievable when they do start. But when they come on, their strength is which their pace, their dribbling helps them massively because there's much space. And in the end, that run and finish was unbelievable. We deserved it. And again, Mikel, I can't lie, you was a midfielder. The midfield looks very dysfunctional. Not really against City. It's like Rice is doing multiple things, but you can't evidently see what he's doing. Zubamendi's trying to do bare things. Marino's trying to do bare things. And I can't see how Rice, evidently just as a novice fan, how Rice's job ties into Zubamendi's, how Zubamendi's ties into Rice, how Marino ties into all of them, how they tie into defense, how the midfield ultimately ties into the attack, how the attack tied into the game ultimately creates chances. We end up maybe scoring. Football's a simple, football's complicated. Life's a hypocritical thing. Football is complicated, but it's also very simple. And I think we've done the complicated stuff. It's about doing simple things. A lot of our issues in the final third, and it's frustrating. It's quite, to be honest, it's quite jarring talking about this week in, week out, which he's right with that. I think the feeling of me being on the pitch, knowing my players, my team, the manager's thoughts, the players' thoughts, and speaking to them is that with the ball, it was probably the first time since I've been here that we've dominated City like that in terms of passing the ball, which is true. But that you said that's the first time. The man won 5-1 last year. He did it now. And to be fair, I said going into the game, you look at that fight, take nothing away from when we beat them 5-1. We exploited a lot of their mistakes. So logically, if you're Pep Guardiola, that's the one thing that's unacceptable. And you could see what it meant to them with the time wasting and the tackling and every save or every tackle, cheating each other up. Saw a bit of ourselves in them. But this is the realm you're in now. The way we pegged them back, the way we made them play a completely different way to how they've ever played, I think that shows a big respect to us. I think Arteta respected City a bit too much going into the game. In the game, City probably respected us too much. Ultimately, too much respect from both sides. What we're doing, obviously, the first goal was a bit disappointing, a bit fucking disappointing for a team that's great defensively. Let's stop the PG bullshit, Rice, man. Usually we were on that type of counter attack, but to come back, to keep pushing, to not let our heads drop, true, it would have been easy. But we kept fighting and showing the mentality that we needed. In the end, I think we got a great goal from Gabby, so we definitely deserve something from the game. I think arguably we've had a tougher start than any team in the league, which is true, but everyone's got to play each other twice in it. And by that logic, if we've had a tough start, there might be an easier end to the season, or there might be a January period that's kinder to us than anyone else. But again, I know it's cliche and I'm being a bit silly. What do they say? Every game's a cup final. Every game's difficult in the Prem. So by that logic, everybody every week has a difficult game. Don't want to hear nothing. Don't want to hear nothing. Obviously, we've got Newcastle next week, then West Ham. It doesn't get any easier. It's been a solid start. Obviously, the defeat away at Liverpool really hurt us. Obviously, we'd have lost today. I did think when we conceded the goal, we felt sorry for ourselves yesterday. That would have been a real kick in the teeth. But to get a point was important. The main thing is to keep winning games in this league. And that's what we're going to keep trying to do. Keep staying positive. Keep trying to dominate football matches. So let's keep pushing and keep supporting everyone. We'll always support, but support don't just mean doing up kumbaya and acting like everything's amazing and whatnot. Timber made 6 tackles in the first half, more than the rest of his teammates. He was quite busy. I actually think Doku had a good game. I think Timber was a bit off it. Good, more like a 7 from Timber. He's normally 10 out of 10. Whatever you said here. Okay, we've seen that from Pep. We've seen that from Pep. Neville spent the game criticizing Arteta's pragmatism while lapping up Pep's pragmatism as a sign of growth. Almost drew blood from my ears. A complete buffoon who's more interested in inventing his desired narratives than analyzing things as they are. I do think he's narrative. I do think he's a whore to the algorithm. I do think that. I think this comment's bang on. The right decision with the subs at half time, but 45 minutes of this game has been wasted. Felt like Arsenal were trying to stay in the game and win later. In brackets, see Liverpool. We never know the whole story, but not starting Eze was a bizarre decision. Trust your team, Mikel. And I do think there was a lot of respect being shown. I don't really care what Gary Neville has had to say. He even tried to jump the gun and say Arsenal have been Arsenaled. City have been City'd. CC the game at the Etihad. I don't really care what Gary Neville's had to say, bro. But I do think Jamie Carragher